5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Right.
And we're here, man. Sunday fun day in the chaos zone.
Absolutely.
Not to be confused with any other zones.
None.
And we have a very, very entertaining guest. Long time no see.
Absolutely.
Anthony Carillo, a buddy of mine from high school, very knowledgeable of all things football and more. Anthony, thanks for coming, man. It's been a while. We've been trying to get this going for a while.
Yeah, we tried to for a few days, a few weeks trying to get this hammered out, but then figured out Sunday on the shortest day of the year, we'll have the longest amount of fun. So we're getting going now. It should be fun. I'm happy. Thank you for having me on the show and everything. So
of course, man. You're always welcome here.
Hope we can educate a few people and have some laughs along the way.
Education on maybe some serious matters, but usually the useless information subjects. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, me and Kyle go back to the point of some of our conversations are epic because of just the craziness that I've gone through it. So hopefully we can recreate and relive the past a little bit. Have some fun.
Relive that magic, huh? One more time at least.
That's it.
So, you're a big football guy.
Yep.
And last night or earlier this morning, we had some big football news.
Yeah, we did.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on from, I guess, almost East Coast all the way out to Vegas now?
Yeah, now it's Vegas.
So what's up with that?
Well, if you don't have Twitter or Instagram, or if you don't have a cell phone, I feel bad, first of all.
So if you're not alive.
Yeah, if you're not alive. If you're 6 feet under in a box, then you got bigger things to worry about. But Antonio Brown, Pittsburgh Steelers, pulled the trigger on a trade, sending him to the Oakland Raiders for a third and a fifth round pick. So everybody's talking about it like the Steelers are getting rid of him because they couldn't deal with him and anything. But my hats off go to Mike Mayock, because if everybody knows, Mike Mayock, who was a former NFL Network analyst, worked for the draft and all that stuff. He was always talking about the combine and everything. He wound up taking the GM of the Raiders job, who everybody thought he was just doing it for fun, kind of seeing if he could like it or whatever. And then he pulls off this robbery like this. So now Derek Carr, for the Raiders, has a legitimate weapon. Like, if you look at the Raiders, you have a few pieces of cheese and no real steak. So you get Antonio Brown in there. Now people have to worry about Antonio Brown, which helps out the other cast of people like Jared Cook, their tight end. And the Raiders people think that the Raiders are just a dumpster fire, but they have 3 first-round picks this year. They have, I think, 2 next year, if I'm not mistaken. They're moving to Vegas. They got a big following all over the country, and now the question turns to if Le'Veon Bell follows Antonio Brown to Oakland, because Oakland doesn't have a running back.
Are they... I mean, obviously, they're friends. But are they good enough friends on that level?
I don't know. You know what?
He's going to follow him out to... I mean, Vegas is enticing now.
It is.
Because, don't forget, they do still have Jordy Nelson out there.
Yeah, they do. They still have him. But with Le'Veon Bell situation, he wants to get paid. And with what the Raiders did to Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper, they didn't pay them anything. But this new deal that Antonio Brown just signed puts him north of $50 million in 3 years, with about, I think it's $30 million guaranteed.
Now, for those people out there that are familiar with sports that has been going on relative to baseball, right? We're seeing huge numbers get thrown around.
Gigantic.
Machado, Harper. Whether they deserve the numbers or not, I can dive into that in a second on my opinion. But for the casual football fan that is looking at Antonio Brown's payout, is that on their pay scale, like proportionate to what a Harper and Machado are currently making, or is it lesser than that? Because Antonio Brown is the best wide receiver in the game.
Yeah.
People could say Odell. People could say A.J. Green. I think it's got to be Antonio, right?
Yeah, he's up there. If you make a list of a top 5, he's one of the first names that come to mind. Him, Julio, Odell.
He's usually one of the first people in fantasy drafts too.
Exactly. Yeah, because you can pencil him in even in Oakland for probably 100 catches, probably 1,100 yards. But with the money situation you're talking about, I think that puts him at 18 to 20 million a year, which puts him at the top for the receivers.
Okay.
So I think Julio's making like 15 or something.
Okay, so he's pretty much the top guy.
Yeah, he's if he's not the top, he's top 3.
Right.
He's got to be.
So then it is kind of relative. I guess quarterbacks fetch more.
Yeah, they always do.
So, baseball's a little bit different. You got a right fielder and a third baseman vying for the number 1 spot.
Yeah.
Harper, what is he at 13 years in Philly?
Yeah, he'll be a teenager in Philly. He'll literally become a teenager.
He could. Yeah, he go 0 to 13. I mean,
really, you're really betting the
form.
farm.
Long time
For somebody who is
and no opt out.
None, no opt out. It's all guaranteed with him too. So
listen, go get your money, man.
That's true.
There's 2 things you can do in sports. You can try to chase a ring or chase cash.
Mm-hmm. That's with Harper's situation. He made the right decision going to Philly. It's a big market. It's a big market. It's a competitive division with the Mets and the.
It's a fun place too.
Yeah,
Philly.
Absolutely, and he seems like somebody that would fit in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
like he seems like somebody that would fit right at home. Going okay, whatever. But with the amount of money that he's making, I know Philly fans that if things don't pick up, then you're going to see people go from loving Harper
Philly,
to hating him.
Give him a chance.
Yeah, right.
Listen, you know what you're signing up for because he's got a few seasons where he's hitting 240.
Yep.
He's got a few seasons where he's hitting 270.
Yeah.
And then he's got 2 seasons where he's over 300. So you know what you're getting batting average-wise.
Yep.
You do the math, you're probably somewhere in between there, so 270 is probably right where it's going to be. If you get 280, if you get 260.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to see for you're buying
13
tickets.
Years, you're going to get it all.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of 0 for 4 nights. You're going to see a lot of 0 for 4 nights. Hopefully, Jonathan Papelbon doesn't come back to Philadelphia so they can fight each other.
Jesus.
But yeah, no, you're going to see a lot of 0 for 4 nights, but you're also going to see him hit balls that would re-crack the Liberty Bell at this point. That guy is chiseled out of stone now.
He's so young, too.
Yeah, it's wild.
He's got this long contract.
Yep.
And he's really just coming into his own. He's 26 years old.
Yeah.
26.
Oh, he'll retire a Philly. Like, that's it. Like, this is it for him.
26. He'll be 39.
Yeah.
If he wanted to. If he really wanted to. He could do a 2-year deal after that.
Oh, if his bat speed's still there,
3-year deal.
Go to the AL, be a DH for 2 years, and just keep going.
A-Rod through the whole ups and downs.
Yeah.
The injuries, the hip, whatever else was going on, the dramatics, the steroids.
Yeah.
They found a spot for him in the DH spot.
That's what I mean.
And he was off to a decent start in that final season, and then he got hurt.
Yeah, he did.
And he had to go down to the minors, and people forget that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, no, well, A-Rod's whole season, no, he was hurt. Who knows? Who knows how much longer he stays a Yankee?
Yeah.
He probably rides. I think if he doesn't get hurt, he rides out that contract.
Yeah.
They don't buy him out.
No.
Because I don't really know who they were putting in at DH at that point. I think it was Teixeira and I don't know if Greg Bird was a viable starter at that point.
No.
He's another one, man. Listen.
Go ahead.
As a Yankee fan.
Yep.
This is it for Greg Bird.
Yep.
You're now fighting with Luke Voigt. And
Yep.
Who's the other guy that they got? The guy from the Rockies, Matthew, I think his name is.
DJ Matthew.
Something
Matthew,
like that.
I wanna
JD
say
or
Matthew,
DJ.
Yeah.
The guy from the Rockies.
Yep.
No disrespect for him.
None.
But listen, you're fighting with those two guys. And listen, the fans love Luke Voigt.
They really do. That's the crazy part about it. Greg Bird is a lot of hopefully not wasted talent. Like, the guy's got an upside. It's just...
Yeah, for those of you that are wondering about the other option at first, it is last name is capital L, lowercase e, capital Mahieu.
Yeah,
we got him from the Rockies. He's what is he? He's pretty much a utility infielder, right?
He is. He's like a young. I think he's a younger Ben Zobrist. Like, that's what it is. Like, Ben Zobrist plays everything. If you're playing fantasy baseball, draft Ben Zobrist because he plays every position.
He's gonna play.
Oh,
he's gonna get in that lineup.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, like, DJ LeMahieu. I'm sorry if I'm butchering this, but
yeah, let's take a shot at it. It's LeMahieu.
Somebody wants to send a video Send the video
Yes.
of you trying to pronounce it. We'll
Direct
make a
message
contest.
me on Instagram.
Yep.
It's @_IPlayMusic_. And where can people find you?
They can find me at AC_OC. So it's AC the OC.
And for those of you out there that are listening that are like, what is that? What does that mean? And what is where'd you get that from? AC the OC.
Well,
I know what it means.
Yeah, you know what it means. But I started coaching semi-pro football, minor league football, in Newton, New Jersey, Sussex Stags. I'm actually wearing my coach's shirt here. And my head coach actually brought it up. And he came up with the idea. He said, we'll call you AC the OC. And I said, okay, we'll market it. And as we went on, I could call probably every offensive player I've coached. I don't think they know my real name. Like that's an honest thing. Like I think they don't know my real name. They know me as AC, and that's it. So, and it's fun. I like it. And
isn't it crazy the amount of nicknames that we've all had?
Oh my God!
I mean, our high school was known for tons of nicknames.
Yeah, some politically correct, some not politically correct.
Can't say them today.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it on the air. This is a family show, maybe, kinda.
We'll drop a few fuck bombs in there.
Yeah,
but,
sooner or later, I'll really get into my groove here. But
it's just you know what? It's a come on the podcast, the GSE podcast.
Mm-hmm.
This will be episode 5.
Yeah.
So you're top 5, man.
I am. I'm honored.
Top 5 of all time.
I'm honored about it. I'm honored.
Yeah.
So when this goes super big and you're doing Joe Rogan podcast with him, I can say
Shout out to Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
man.
honestly.
Love his podcast.
So do I. Joe Rogan podcast. So when you make it huge with this, then I can sit there and go, I could be like the Waterboy's father and come back with the lazy eye and everything. And I could tell everybody I was top 5 on the GSE podcast.
That's it, man.
That's
yeah, again, for those of you that are new to any of the podcasts that we do air at this point, GSE podcast is not directly tied in to Gold Standard Entertainment, the wedding and event entertainment company. Mm-hmm. We did take the GSE, but we put podcasts at the end, and it's just a format for any and all people, guests that want to come on and speak about a variety of subjects. I've had, like internet advertising and marketing personnel on here. Mm-hmm. I've had people come on and talk about Marvel and DC, fun subjects. Yeah. You're coming on, we're talking about a bunch of stuff.
Absolutely.
Sports related so far.
Yep.
And, there's another one where we had a gentleman come on, a friend of mine in the wedding industry, another entertainment company owner.
Yeah.
So, listen, all pretty much are welcome.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's an hour podcast to kind of get some ideas out there.
Could be more.
Yeah,
it could be longer.
I'll give you as long as you want.
Man. We had Frankie and Mike on.
Yeah.
We went 2.5 hours.
I saw some of the videos and stuff you put up.
Hours.
Yeah. You guys went. Well, those guys are characters. They're great guys. But you got everybody. For those who don't know, well, we all grew up in an area that we're all very close knit. So when we start talking, it's like I haven't talked to Kyle in person, and God knows how. I think I had
probably a bar somewhere.
Yeah, I think I had one kid the last time I spoke to him, and now I have 3.
Yeah.
So that tells you it's been a while. But I came in here today. We just picked up where we left off. That's how we are. We're very
right away. Just boom, jump right in.
And that's it.
I was about to call you Shills.
Yep.
All that stuff. Nicknames from high school.
Yeah, we had a lot of them.
Speaking of one of my nicknames, Millie.
Yeah.
I had a wedding last night.
Mm-hmm.
Brought her with me.
Yep.
Got a video footage of her behind the 1s and 2s.
Oh, you got Mama.
Yeah.
Mama spinning tables there.
Yeah, Mom is rocking out, or as Michael Scott would say, how the turntables.
Oh, how the table turns have turntable something.
Yeah, he comes in and he's selling the company.
Yeah.
And he looks at David Wallace.
Oh, he looks at David Wallace. Yeah.
And he goes. Who's the other guy?
That big guy from Thor, the one with the sword.
Idris Elba is his last name. And
go ahead.
Yeah, Idris Elba.
Okay.
He, I think he was the regional manager of The Office.
Oh, he was a temporary one when Michael
Yes.
Scott made the Michael Scott Paper Company.
Yes. Charles Minor.
Yeah.
Charles Minor.
Mm-hmm.
He was the vice president of the Northeast region
Yeah.
of Dunder Mifflin.
Dunder Mifflin.
I would love to work at Dunder Mifflin.
You know what? I went to school in Lackawanna. I went to Lackawanna Junior College, and that's in Scranton on Vine Street. If you watch The Office, they show that Vine Street footage. Lackawanna campus is right there. And we found the building where they wound up doing some of the stuff. And I was like, you know what? Like, I would have loved to do that. Like, that's...
Something about it. Listen, it's an office. It's boring, but then there's some personal interaction there.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I worked a corporate job, and I met some really, really cool people. I keep in touch with a couple of them, not on a daily basis, but, you throw the comments around on social media.
Yeah.
You can tell there's still a lot of good feeling there.
Absolutely.
And I tell you, man, Dunder Mifflin, that is the office job. And you know what? It could never work, though, in today's environment.
Oh, 0%.
You can watch it now, though, and laugh about it.
Yep.
Because holy shit, this will never work.
Oh, God, no.
It's a shame we're there.
Yeah. It's
shame.
actually, yeah, you know what? You make a good point, because if you go back, The Office started, what, 07, 08, kind of, around that time? I don't know. But when The Office started, we all took everything it fit, like the Oscar episode where Michael kisses Oscar.
March 24, 2005 was the first episode of The Office.
So there you go. So 2005, it's been 14 years. If that show started now, we wouldn't get 11 seasons.
No, you
There's
would
no
get
way.
4 episodes and you'd be out.
Yeah, you'd be canceled in seconds.
Canceled. And the amount of uproar,
Oh, God.
like you said with Michael and Oscar,
The episode.
and Michael's like, I want you to see this.
Yeah, he forces himself to kiss Oscar
And
in
then
the
he
conference
kisses
room.
Oscar,
Yep.
and you could tell Michael's not comfortable.
Oh, yeah. They're not.
Yeah.
None of it.
Oscar's not comfortable.
Yeah.
But they're not comfortable for 2 separate reasons. Because Michael is really pushing that he's a straight
Yeah, he's a straight
male.
macho man, yeah.
And Oscar is pushing it because, dude, you are forcing yourself on me.
You're forcing a kiss in a
Yeah.
conference room
Yeah.
in a group of strangers.
Well, think about it this way, man. If you're at a bar or a social setting
Yeah.
or you're somewhere and there's even someone of the opposite sex pushing themselves on you
Yeah.
and you're not attracted to them, you're going to be like Oscar. You're going to be like, dude, stop forcing yourself on me.
Oh, you're getting throat punched.
Yeah.
I'm walking away.
Yeah.
You're getting throat punched. Bruce Lee quick jab you in the throat. That's it.
So, but The Office, man, I love it.
So do I.
It's funny.
That's really, some people, you know what, they don't like it and things like that. Like, I know my wife, shout out to my wife Laura, who's watching the kids right now.
Big shout out to Laura.
There you go.
Thank you for watching those kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful kids, by the way.
And thank you for having lips. I told her I would say that on the way here.
Okay.
So she doesn't like The Office. Doesn't.
Any reason why?
The Office has that dry humor stuff. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of people that don't like
That dry humor, whatever it is. Yeah. So she's more into, like, me and her. We've been married a few years now. Mm-hmm. We have 3 kids. We have a house. All the good stuff. Like, we're more into watching, like, Kitchen Nightmares, like Gordon Ramsay, stuff like that. She graduated cooking school, so she knows all about it.
Okay.
So we'll watch, like, Anthony Bourdain. She loves him. Gordon Ramsay. Just watching Gordon Ramsay, like, panic scream at people. But, like, The Office, it's just, if you didn't start The Office when it was at, like, its height, like what we did, then it's hard to, like, restart.
I tell you what, I didn't start watching The Office until August.
Like,
I was going like this August.
Okay.
Like never
Oh,
saw
wow,
it, wasn't
really?
even into it.
Oh, okay.
Not that
Well, here we go.
I wasn't against it.
Yeah.
I never watched it.
Yeah.
And at that time I needed something very funny to watch.
Yeah.
You know. And a friend of mine was like, dude, check out The Office.
Yeah,
Like,
I can't
just
believe
watch
it.
it.
Took you to August.
And when I tell you I left that show running on Netflix, banged out a season, banged out another season. Next thing I know, I get to Michael Scott's final episode.
That makes me cry. The airport scene
Yeah.
makes me cry. I'm not ashamed. I'm a grown man.
And I'm like,
I'll admit that.
I'm just in September at this point.
Oh, wow.
A couple weeks into September.
Yeah.
8 seasons? 6 seasons. I think he lasts 6.
He leaves, 6, and then Will Ferrell comes in, breaks his neck, trying to slam dunk a basketball.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. And then they have that huge surge.
Which is a spoiler for me, because I get to a certain point in the Will Ferrell office.
Yeah.
Takeover, if you will.
Yeah.
And it's nothing to do with him, because he's funny.
Yeah, he is.
But it feels different.
I think that he's got that dry, humorous thing,
Yeah.
but
They hit it off in the beginning when they're at the bar.
yes.
And I'm like, wow, this is going to work.
Yep.
And then there are just certain cutscenes that Steve Carell would do that are no longer there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I started going back to the beginning.
Yep.
So I get to the Michael Scott final episode.
Yep.
Sometimes I don't even watch it.
No.
And then I go back.
You got it, because then they get into Robert California. Then
I've never seen any of those.
gotta
And
get into
recently I'm like, well, there's other Pam and Jim stories.
There's
other Dwight stories. And I've seen certain parts of other episodes just on TV
Yeah.
where they're all together. Michael, of course, doesn't pop up.
No.
But then I'm like, maybe I'll go and watch this. But yeah, at a certain point, I'm just like, but there's no Michael.
I don't want to spoil it for you, but
Now you can spoil. Listen, the show's been out for.
yeah, no, I don't. All right, so Michael,
Well, Dwight
Go ahead.
eventually becomes the manager.
yes, and one of the final episodes is one of the most heartbreaking ones. Like I said, I'm a grown man. I'll admit I cry. Like I don't care, but
I teared up a little when Michael left.
so when they in the airport's rough, but there's an episode that if you have a pulse, it'll get you. It'll get you.
Yeah?
Oh God.
What happens?
It's Dwight's wedding, and Jim is Dwight's best
Yes,
man.
I saw that. That's the last
And
episode.
then
I
at
did
the
see that
last
because he
moment.
comes back.
And then that's when Michael Scott comes back with the grayish hair.
And Dwight's like, Michael,
Yeah.
I can't believe you came.
Yep.
And Michael goes,
That's what she said.
that's what she said.
But that's
And Jim goes, best prank ever.
I think here's a good question. Did Michael Scott start the "That's What She Said" epidemic of everybody saying it? Because 2005 was before a lot of social media and things that really took a stride in. Like, was he the catalyst that took it from a simple phrase into like a household? Like, you say anything about cylindrical shapes, you say anything about anything sexual, the first thought to your head is "That's what she said." So,
Listen, yeah.
I mean, it's up for debate here. I don't know. Like, I'm thinking it's because if it's 2005, we were juniors, or we were sophomores in high school.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a little bit of information on That's What She Said.
All right, you got some.
So it's from Thrillist, a website called Thrillist.
Okay.
And the title of the write-up says, "The Weird Origins of, quote, That's What She Said," unquote.
Okay.
And in it, second paragraph, it says, in America, the earliest documented case. There's a documented case.
This isn't cancer. It's a phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The earliest documented case of the phrase appears in a 1975 episode of Saturday Night Live. In particular, and listen to this iconic name.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
It was Chevy Chase.
No, it wasn't.
Using the
Clark
joke.
Griswold?
Yeah.
No.
How fitting.
That's wild.
I fucking love Christmas Vacation.
That's my wife tells me all the time. I'm Clark fucking Griswold, like to a T.
Using the joke during Weekend Update on the show's first season, it was kept in popular use on SNL through repeated uses in Wayne's World sketches and later the movie. However, the joke is a twist of a much older British phrase that tracks back more than a century to some point in the Edwardian period, 1901 to 1910.
Now we're educating people. Here we go.
This is
GSE podcast. You're getting everything.
This is what we do.
There you go.
We talk about everything. We
went from Antonio Brown to Peruvian. What'd you say?
Edwardian.
There you go.
In British.
Get some knowledge up
British
in your brains.
Phrase that it's a twist
of a British
phrase that tracks back more than a century now because we're
wow.
2019.
Yeah, we're going back.
So this goes back to the, quote, Edwardian period,
Mm-hmm.
1901 to 1910. So before the Curse of the Babe, also tying in sports, because that was 1918.
Yeah, really. We're a century from that.
That's what she said. Yeah, happened before the Babe. Before the Babe cursed the Red Sox.
So the Babe cursed the Red Sox with his...
After.
Jeez.
What
Louise.
if something happened where, like, the Red Sox sold the Babe and the Yankees go, man, that's going to hurt so bad.
That's going to suck.
And Babe goes, that's what she said.
That's what she said. Imagine he's sitting at the contract signing. You know what's funny? I saw an article the other day, and they said that the GM of the Yankees at the time with Babe Ruth, he signed a 2-year, I think it was $160,000 contract to play for the Yankees, and the GM for the Yankees at that time said, there's no way anybody else would ever sign a more rich contract than one George Herman Ruth just signed. Which is funny because we're like, you bring in Bryce Harper now, and if Mike Trout hits the open market in 2021?
Listen, the Angels better.
They'll just make him mayor. Make him mayor of LA. That's it.
Better.
Or Anaheim.
Lock that guy in.
Well, Mike Trout's the 5-tool guy. Mike Trout is Mickey Mantle, but more durable, and he's just more durable. That's it. Like, if Mickey Mantle didn't have horrible knees, you would put him up in top 3 all time.
He would probably be the greatest of all time.
Really? Like,
because there's
fielder?
no stories, at least that I'm aware of steroids.
None. Alcohol, yeah.
Yeah, but come on.
But
I'm going next week in a Pearl River parade. One of the biggest St. Patrick's Day
Yep.
parades.
Pearl River has huge St. Patrick's Day parade.
Yeah.
They lock down the street, put the Porta-Johns everywhere. Most people miss the Porta-Johns, but
a lot of people miss the Porta-Johns.
A lot of them.
There's a lot of street cleaning that probably has to be done after that.
Yeah, I don't envy that man.
So you're telling me to go back. Babe Ruth was signed. What was the number?
I think it was he signed a 2-year, $160,000 contract. If I'm not, I might be mistaken. Don't get me wrong, but I think it was 2 years, $160,000, and then from there, it went. Babe Ruth, the greatest baseball player on planet Earth at that time. Now you go to Bryce Harper, who you could possibly put in the top 10, making what, 300?
No, Bryce Harper's not the top 10 all time.
No, not all time. I'm talking about in today's baseball.
Currently, yeah.
Yeah. But
you're not wrong. As far as Babe Ruth goes.
Okay.
Wow. It was so. This comes from. It's called the IntelligentCollector.com.
That sounds like Big Brother. This sounds like Skynet.
It's like, we will find you.
This sounds like Skynet.
It sounds like it should be in a Marvel comic or a DC comic.
Oh yeah, this is like that obscure superhero who comes in for 3 seconds, like, you need some intelligence, and then like there goes, get the hell out of here.
Yes, I have an item for you. I am the intelligent collector. It's knowledge.
Yeah. Like, did you know that peaches got prices? And I'm like, shut up.
Did you know an avocado is a fruit?
Yeah. An Iron Man sitting there just hammering champagne.
Yeah,
and
rolling his eyes back like that gif that everybody sees.
Yeah, and he's just like, can you get the hell out of here?
Okay.
Oh, God.
Real quick.
There we go.
Is it GIF or GIF? How do you pronounce it? Because I have a debate with an upcoming podcast guest.
Okay.
Who will rename nameless.
Okay.
Who will not rename. Who will be named.
Who
will remain. Who will
nameless.
Remain
Yes,
nameless.
correct.
Until the podcast comes up. Because I can bring this up with them.
Okay.
How do you pronounce it?
It's GIF.
GIF, right?
GIF.
You would think.
Why?
Apparently it's GIF.
Then those people are wrong.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, no.
We're gonna eventually we'll have you guys on.
That's fine.
So you say they're wrong.
I do. Okay. Anybody listening, you want to send a message or anything like this? You like we said with the Matthew recording, send one on how you pronounce it.
Is it GIF or GIF? The spelling is GIF.
I thought it was G. Is it?
It is G. I said G.
Oh, I thought you said J.
The spelling is GIF.
Okay.
Do you pronounce it GIF or GIF?
It's GIF.
Which one's it going to be?
The word is GIF.
So,
my final answer.
we're going to put that on the gram later. We'll do a little poll. We have to. GIF or GIF?
You got to make the poll up.
So, going back to George Herman Ruth.
Yeah.
from the Intelligent Collector from the Marvel DC comic universe.
Correct.
Quote, it was perhaps not so surprising that in March of 1930, Ruth began renegotiating his contract with the Yankees. Eventually walking away with a deal that guaranteed him $160,000 over 2 years.
It's wild.
People, that is $80,000 a year.
I think a house cost like $13 back then. Like, I'll buy a house, a car, and a horse, and I'll break even on a 20.
Someone told Ruth he had a higher annual salary than the President of the United States at the time, who was Herbert Hoover.
Okay.
To which the Babe responded, quote, why not? I had a better year than he did.
You know what? He's not wrong.
I could see him doing that with a cigar.
Oh, absolutely. Cigar in one hand, brandy in another, some girl draped on his shoulder. You know what? He was the Sultan of SWAT for a reason. Like, he oozed fun. Like, there was no part of him that was serious.
The king of clout.
Yeah, like, there's no part of him that was serious. Like, he was playing a game, and he knew it, and he made the best of it, and he made the most of it. And for somebody says, like, he can't play in today's game because he can't hit a curveball, whatever it is.
You didn't know that they didn't throw it back then.
Yeah.
Number one. I'm not saying you.
Yeah, no.
I'm saying in general.
Yep.
You didn't know that they didn't manipulate pitches back then. They did a lot more with that ball.
They 100% did. With
They
those weird
scuffed
leg
the
kicks.
seam.
Yep.
Come on. Nobody's... All right, I'm throwing fastballs
Yeah, I'm throwing
all the
BP
time.
over here, yeah.
Give me a break.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Give me a break.
If you think about it, the stadiums were, except the Polo Grounds, which was 60 feet to the lines, but it was 505 to dead center, or 600, whatever it was. The stadiums were bigger back then. They had some big stadiums getting after it, and that guy, and if you think about it, these bats that they used weren't powerized and everything else and whatever it is. It's like, he pretty much just cut a bunch of lumber off a tree.
Do you know how absurd the Polo Ground dimensions were?
I think it's like 270 to the lines.
Yeah, very good.
Is it?
279 in left field.
Okay.
257 in right field.
It's like right behind second base.
257.
It's 180
For
to
those
second
of you
base from home plate.
that don't know, yeah, it's what, 180?
From home plate to second base is 180 feet.
Yeah, you're going 77 more feet.
Then that's it. And then you have the wall. You could stand at home plate.
Who made up this field?
I don't know.
And in center field, it's 455 feet away.
Yeah, it's a bomb.
As per quick lookup on Google.
There you go. Good old Google. But
yeah, from baseball parks, from ballparksofbaseball.com. Ballparksofbaseball.com.
Right.
And then there's a whole other thing. But when you type in dimensions of Polo Grounds, what is that? 279 down the left field line. Then we're gonna run it out. But it's not just like they angle it.
No,
They go like straight out.
They bow it out
and
like
then
this.
hook in.
Yeah, because if you look at the Polo Grounds, they have on the field of play the bullpens.
Yes.
So like if you hit it in the gap, you're gonna go.
Have you played the show?
I have played the show. I love it.
Yeah, have you played on that field?
I have. That's almost where I religiously play because I'll just hit things in the gap.
Yeah.
And I'll just take my 400-pound guy and I'll be like, oh, here's a triple.
Here's a triple. Up the stats.
Yeah. But
Boom.
Imagine playing left field or center field at the Polo Grounds and a ball gets hit in the gap and you see this wall of opponents in the bullpen. You're running full speed into them at full speed.
I tell you what I do. If I'm playing center field at the Polo Grounds and somebody like Ty Cobb is up,
Yep.
I'm assuming he played during that time?
Cobb stopped playing, I want to say like 1908. I want to say it was before 1910 he stopped.
Right. Yeah, I think he did play at the Polo Grounds.
But I think he did play there.
I just looked up some photos.
All right.
Yeah, it looks like he did play. Now, if I'm playing the outfield,
Yep.
I have some speed.
You have to.
If I'm playing the outfield.
You have to be.
You played the outfield in high school.
Yes, I did.
I don't know why.
I don't know. My knees gave up. My knees gave up on me.
No,
So now I had to go stand in right field.
You weren't slow.
No, I was right field.
There were some slow people in high school.
There was.
But listen, speed kills.
Speed kills.
Speed does kill.
It does.
And it also, the drug kills, but also if you're a slow athlete.
Oh, you get run over.
It kills.
That's it. It's rough.
So, if I'm playing the outfield,
yep,
especially center field, and I see Ty Cobb get up and he ropes a ball in the gap,
I'm not touching it.
I'm not going to get it.
No.
If it goes past me and it's rolling to the bullpen, he's going to get a triple or more, which means he's going to score.
Yep.
Unless it's game 7.
If it's an important, if it's mid-July,
if it's a mid-July 98-degree day, I am saying no. Oh, yeah. And I'm letting that ball roll to the wall.
Yep.
Whoever's warming up or sitting on that bullpen bench, once Tobb scores, I'm looking at them and I'm saying, hey,
just
pick that up, throw that in for me.
You get it in.
There is no way.
There's
no way. Maybe this is why we're not going pro.
Well, true.
But then again, the Polo Grounds is no longer.
That's also a huge testament, because you bring up that point. That's a huge testament to Willie Mays' catch.
Yeah, he ran straight back.
He ran straight back with his back to the ball at the Polo Grounds to make that over-the-shoulder catch. It's a testament to how great he was, because you and me are on the same thought process that you hit it in the gap and I see Ty Cobb running around. It's like, oh, I hope he blows out a hammy, because this is like a golf walk to this. But if the Babe hit one in the gap, I'd be like, all right, fat bastard. He's not going too far. Or I'd make him run just so he would pass out. Like, that's it. Just be like, all right, Tubbs, start running.
Who played at the Polo Grounds? Was it just the Giants or did the Dodgers play too?
The Dodgers played in Brooklyn.
And the Polo Grounds was...
That was
It was the northeast corner of Central Park, it looks like. The Polo Grounds stood... The original Polo Grounds.
Yep.
So there was more than one?
I don't know. Yeah. Yes. I have no idea. But yeah, the Polo Grounds, those iconic stadiums.
Yeah, no, there was. There was a relocation of it, too. So the first one was located... at 110th Street between 5th Ave and 6th Ave, directly across 110th Street from the northeast corner of Central Park.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the original one.
All right.
Then it got demolished.
Okay.
And then relocated to West 111th Street.
Okay. All right.
No. That's wrong. That's wrong.
Nope. We're good.
I'm kind of pulling this off Wikipedia, so for anybody, I'm trying to skim through the information.
If you know where it was,
I did find it. I just read wrong.
Oh, never mind.
Okay. So they relocated twice. It looks like.
Oh.
The Giants opened the 1889 season at Oakland Park in Jersey City, New Jersey.
Okay.
Their first 2 games there. 4 days later, they moved to St. George Cricket Grounds, where the Metropolitans had continued to play until their demise following the 1887 season. I'm assuming that's a different team.
Yeah.
After closing out a homestand at the St. George Grounds on June 14th, the Giants went on the road. Upon their return on July 8th, they had relocated again to a, quote, new Polo Grounds, quote, site within Manhattan at the far terminus of the 9th Avenue Elevated at 155th Street and 8th Ave, now known as Frederick Douglass Boulevard.
All right.
Yeah. So, despite their vagabond existence in 1889, the Giants managed to win the pennant for the second consecutive year, as well as that year's World Series against Brooklyn.
The Brooklyn Dodgers.
So, that was the Polo Grounds.
So there's your history lesson on the Polo Grounds today.
There was a Polo Grounds 3.
There's a lot of Polo Grounds.
Polo Grounds 4.
Well, I guess anywhere where you play polo, you could call it the Polo Grounds.
I guess so.
Get on a horse and a cricket bat, whatever it is. I don't know.
And there might have been a Polo Grounds 5.
This sounds like
that last Polo Grounds.
This sounds
whichever
like
one.
Chronicle.
Let's see. No, Polo Grounds 4. On Friday, April 14th, 1911, a fire of uncertainty swept through the stadium's horseshoe-shaped grandstand.
Yep.
That's how it went down.
Oh, it sounds like a movie. Like
yeah.
Polo Grounds 4, The Awakening.
It reopened June 28th after the fire in 1911.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Giants won the pennant that year again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they renamed the new structure Brush Stadium. Or Brush Stadium.
Brush.
Yeah, Brush.
Okay.
To honor their owner, John T. Brush.
Okay.
Yeah.
Inventor of the brush.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe. Probably not.
Probably. We'll give him a shout out. R.I.P. Mr. Brush.
So, but anyways.
Yeah.
Going back to Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
$160,000.
$160,000.
You probably make that in 2 years, 3 years. The average person's probably making that in 3 years.
No, I don't know.
In today?
Today, yeah. I thought you were talking about then. I was like, then, no. But today, yeah, it'd probably take average median salary in the country today is probably what, 50, 60,000. So yeah, give them 3 years.
Yeah, it's it's close. It's 44,564. So what, 4 years?
So 4 years, yeah.
So Ruth is making that in 2.
But he's playing a game.
He's playing a game.
Yeah.
Now, the times were different back then, but you put it in today's terms, that's relatively nothing.
Yeah.
You put it in last time period's terms, that's a lot.
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
Put it into perspective. He made more than Herbert Hoover. I'm not sure what Hoover's salary was.
Yeah.
But Trump right now,
mm-hmm.
The presidential salary is $400,000.
So he made pretty much almost half of what the president now makes in what you said.
Well, Trump is only making, and he chose to, $1. That's all he's taking.
All right.
$1.
Well, he doesn't
and
need
he's
the money.
donating everything else, and whatever.
Well, he doesn't need the money.
He doesn't need the money.
Not at all.
Some people say, no, he's not a billionaire. Blah. Come on. Whatever he is, the guy is
He
rich.
has more money than both
The guy's
of us.
rich and he's worked the system.
Yeah.
And for anybody that sits there and says, well, that's really wrong, it might be morally wrong, but if he's doing it within the guidelines or the book or whatever you want to call it, it's not wrong.
Everything today is about strict guidelines and following the rules. So if he's following the rules,
yeah,
the end.
Well, that's one of the things that he said. He worked the system.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean that you did anything wrong if you're working within the system. I think it's cool that he donates money to whatever causes, if he's actually doing it. Other presidents also donated their presidential salaries to charity. George Washington may have turned away $25,000. Obama declared just a few years ago that he had only recently finished paying off some student loans. Speaking to an audience at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, he expressed how much he was able to empathize with them with the burden of shouldering his type of debt.
Yeah.
Student loans are interesting, though.
Mm-hmm. They are.
I think if you take it out, you should pay it back.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
you know what you're signing up for. You put your name on that piece of paper, so you sign up for it. If you don't want student loans, go to a trade school or.
The Obama's net worth is also $40 million,
oh,
according to a 2018 Go Banking Rates estimate.
Okay.
So, depends how that payment plan is going to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and you'd think that the president of the United States, good on the loaning company, because not giving him no breaks. You pay your loan.
Yeah, man, pay the loan. You take the money out, you pay it back.
Exactly.
So good for him for paying back the loan.
Yeah.
And good for the banks or whoever to hold them accountable. So, yeah, lots of good stuff so far.
Yeah.
What else do we got? So you had said that you, to dive back a little bit, you were an offensive coordinator.
Correct.
You're not that old.
Nope.
Why choose to be a coach rather than play?
Concussions.
Really?
Yeah, I had all those concussions and stuff, and my body's all destroyed.
So you won't play just for fear?
Medically, I can't. I have no cartilage left in my right knee.
Really?
Yeah. My hands, if you can see, like they're all crooked and broken and everything.
I'm gonna have to see doctor's notes on this, man. I'm not.
Ask your
believing
father. No, my body's just beat up, and as I played quarterback, I played for the Stags. I played semi-pro football. Guy asked me to come back. I started making an offense, and it worked out well. We were the number 1 offense in the league. Was the best offensive coordinator in the state. Took the Stags from relatively nationally unknown. I think we finished the season ranked 10th or 11th in the nation, and it was just fun. It was fun because it was a good outlet because I got to scream my guts out, and that was it. I would scream my guts out. The guys knew I was nuts. I told my players to embrace the crazy. They'll watch this because I'm going to put this up on my page so we get this all.
Hell yeah!
And they'll watch it and everything, and they'll laugh at this point because there's been some moments of me screaming at I wanted body bags because we just got to bury people, how we just got to trample people, and just I think we had back-to-back games my first year. We won back-to-back games. The first one we played was the New Rochelle Warriors, and we won 57-0.
Wow.
Or no, 57-7, something like that. The next game we played the New Jersey Pirates, and we won 62-0. And I was still furious because I said, all right, we got 50. Okay, next week we get 60. And then we got 60. Then I said, okay, next week we get 70. And we didn't get it. But so I was still pissed.
We need 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's like that was the goal. We had the number 1 and number 3 running backs in the league. We had the 8th best quarterback. We averaged 33 a game.
Right.
And we just didn't take any crap from anybody.
Now, for those people that are unfamiliar with exactly minor league football.
Correct.
So the NFL is obviously the pinnacle.
Correct.
And then I'm assuming Canadian football.
Canadian football is right there.
So where does the rest of it, college football underneath that, where does this all tie in for people that really have no idea but are trying to guesstimate, if you will, where it all falls?
Minor league football is for the guys either trying to relive the glory, guys that are at a high school that don't have the grades or going to community college trying to get their grades up to go to play big-time college football, or guys that want tape in a professional atmosphere to go send it to arena or overseas because they play. Like I have my running back, his name's Cody, and he wanted tape to go play somewhere else to get paid. He wound up signing a contract to go play in Brazil.
Okay.
So and then he wound up winning MVP. The guy's great.
Wow.
But some guys take it, go to arena. Some guys take it, go overseas. Some guys send tape to the NFL, try to get it to camps. Some guys, now with this AAF coming out, with those teams, you send the tape there. The spring league, there's a lot of... So minor league football is, for example, I had a quarterback on my team last year, and his name was Nealon Green. Nealon Green was, if I'm not mistaken, the first African-American quarterback to start at Clemson University back in the 90s.
Wow.
Yeah. He also, I think, is still top 10 on all passing records at Clemson. But he's old now. Like, Nealon, I love you, but, like, we called him Grandpa for a reason. And the best part about him was that he's still fast as lightning. And when he would run the ball, if you stood on the sidelines, if the play broke down and you saw him running out of the pocket, he would jock rock his runs. So he would make sound effects as he's juking around people.
Really?
Oh, it was the best ever. But like guys like that, he's got a lot of talent. He's going to keep playing. Then we have some guys that are 18, 19 years old, fresh out of high school. Maybe don't have the grades to go to a 4-year university, so they want to go to community college first, boost the grades up, but still play football. And the Sussex Stags it's a professional organization, run very well. It's structured practice. Games, uniforms, everything is structured. And it's fast. Like we have, some of the teams have, Ronnie Barrow played for went to the Jets camp a little bit. He's on somebody's team. Dave Legree played quarterback at Syracuse. There's an Akeel Robinson, also known as Lowell, who, if you remember Darrelle Revis' playing days at Pittsburgh, when Pitt played West Virginia, Lowell was the kick returner who returned that big kick, I think it was, for a touchdown to swing that game. So there's a lot of guys that are just there. It's a great way to play football if you're thinking about playing it. contact somebody about it, whatever it is, because it's a great way to stay in shape. It's a great way to continuously play the game you love. It's fun.
What about for somebody with relatively little experience? Like, let's say they love the game, right?
Yeah.
And maybe, and this may sound weird at first, but maybe they didn't have the courage in high school or growing up to play football.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they just weren't big enough.
Yeah.
And they've hit the gym. They've done some training. Is the game at that point too far gone? Because you have these people with the field presence on the field. Is it a liability? Or with the training that they've been doing with the weights and the running and that sort of thing, do you think they can still be on the field and maybe perform at a high level?
Yeah. Well, you're not. Yeah, you can. Absolutely. Like, let's say you wanted to play football. Okay.
Right.
You definitely can. There's tryouts and stuff. You can get invited to camps. I know the Stags. I think the league allows you to roster 60 or 65 people.
Wow.
And every year I've coached, we've had a full roster. And we've had some people that said they want to play but said they don't.
Now, what does that mean? They want to, like, they say they want to play, but they don't actually physically show up?
Yeah, because some people, it's hard. We all have lives. Like, we all work, and this is you don't get paid for any of this, because if you start paying players, the guys trying to go to college can't go play college.
Right.
So none of the players get paid on the Stags. I know that. And like, people have work. The games are Saturday nights. Practices for us were Tuesdays and Thursdays. So, but like somebody who's just trying to figure it out, I know that the kicker for the Stags, one of our kickers we have, his name is Craig. If I remember the story correctly, he didn't play football until about 3 years ago, or 3-4 years ago. Picked up the Stags, wanted to learn how to kick. I mean, if you have the will to do it,
right, and
if, like you said, if you're not fast, like if you don't have a lot of speed or whatever, but athletic ability doesn't go away. And plus,
there's a lot of athletes, even on the professional level, that we see that are just slow as all hell. And some of them, you ask, even build-wise, they're like, how did you get in there? But they found a way to get in.
Yep.
And not necessarily that the slow part pertains to somebody like a Dustin Pedroia.
Yeah.
But A-Rod recently has been on record as saying, with all the analytics and everything, you look at a guy like Dustin Pedroia, and across the board, he comes off as like a good college player.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be this MVP.
Yeah.
He's not going to be a world champion.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be a starter.
Yeah.
And everything that he's not, he has done.
Yeah, he's proved it all wrong.
And he's a 4-time Gold Glover, I believe.
Yep.
So, analytics, I mean, how do you feel about that versus, because the sporting world, that's changed a lot.
Yeah.
How they view things. I remember in the 90s, even early 2000s, the manager, it was very touchy-feely.
Yeah.
Now it's, different positioning of players almost all the time in every sport.
Mm-hmm.
Does analytics play much into football? I mean, I'm sure like with the 40 times and things like that, you get analytical in that way. But has the game changed? Because I've seen it a lot with baseball.
Yeah.
And as a baseball player yourself, I mean, I'm sure you've seen it too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, with the game of football, there's tendencies like what on third down a team might run a certain defense against you, so you try to go against that. But my offensive philosophy was and always will be, we're gonna run my plays. Like we're a no huddle, high octane, get on the ball. I think we were from the end of a play to the next play snap. I think we're at like 13 seconds.
So you're like a West Coast kind of feel.
It's like Oregon and Oklahoma State on just heroin.
Right.
Like we're nuts. So I understand people sometimes try to do the X's and O's and the tendencies of this, but I never. You ask any player that I coached and called out plays for, have any quarterback I've coached sit here, and they'll tell you there's some games that we went into the game and I had a game plan, and then within the first play I was like, nope, like I'll never forget we played the Brooklyn Mariners in the pouring rain, and I had my first 10 plays scripted, ready to go. I knew their tendencies. I watched film, broke it down, talked to the team about it. First play, we ran a zone right off the right, gained about 20 yards. I took that piece of paper and shoved it.
Yeah.
And then we wound up running the same play, just going right to left. I think the first 10 or 11 plays that game, we wound up winning 48-7. Like, it was just like, you go for how you feel. And, like, baseball, that's how I always felt. Like, there's certain numbers that when you need a pinch hitter, you put somebody in there. But I'm not gonna sit my star player like Aaron Judge every third day of the week because analytics tell me to.
The Dodgers did that with Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, like
he didn't even play in some World Series games.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
What are you doing?
Like, no, I'm not gonna put my. It's like the Angels putting Mike Trout on the bench, going, "Well, the computer's telling me this." Like, shut up. Like, shut up.
You're never gonna sit a Mike Trout.
Never.
You would never sit an A-Rod in his prime. You would never sit a Giambi, a Ken Griffey Jr.
Hey, Cal Ripken.
Yeah.
Fucking Iron Man.
Yeah, and Albert Bell.
Yeah.
Like Joe DiMaggio, I could never see. Pee Wee Reese, you wouldn't sit these guys.
You don't.
Kirby Puckett. At a certain point, it's a detriment to the game.
Yeah.
What happens in Philly in season 8 or 7 when analytics comes out and the computer's telling them, sit Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Because he's a 240 hitter and his on-base percentage is dipping. Oh, but he's got 35 home runs. What do you do?
Yeah.
And he fills seats. And, the little boy or girl in the stands is wearing, I guess, number 34 still, if that's what he's...
No, he's wearing 3.
Number 3.
He said they're gonna retire for Doc Holliday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're retiring 34. Yeah, so he's wearing 3.
Yeah, that was sad.
That was really sad. But no, you're right because
Doc Holliday, rest in peace.
Rest in peace to Doc
He
Holliday.
was a stud.
He might have been one of the last just Iron Men. Like screw you, give me the ball. Look at the closer and tell him to get a beer.
You know who I see a lot of that in? Justin Verlander.
Yeah, I see that.
Listen, he torched the Yankees a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
But it was fun to watch a guy like that get on the mound. It felt like a Clemens or a Pedro or like a Randy Johnson, even a Schilling. Give me the damn ball.
Yeah, give me the ball and get out of the way.
Yeah.
Like everybody.
You didn't have pitch counts with Verlander in that series.
No, you didn't.
He was 100 pitches.
It was 100 plus.
110.
Yeah.
And he threw 80-something strikes to like 20 balls or
it's
30
unreal.
balls.
Yeah.
And as a baseball fan, because I obviously am a Yankee fan, big time, but a baseball fan too, where it's like, this is fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, man, just get the damn ball.
That's it.
Pound the glove.
And
get after it.
That's it. Get after it. Like
you don't see that anymore.
You don't. You might see it with some, like Kershaw, maybe. Bumgarner, yeah. Like when Bumgarner's healthy, he'll grab the ball and he'll just start going.
Sale.
Yeah, Sale will do it. Sometimes if like Jake Arrieta's feeling it, then give him the ball, get out of the way. But it's those guys where it's pitch counts and analytics today. Like if I have, let's say I have Severino on the mound. All right. So I have Severino on the mound, and he's humming, and he's at 85 pitches, and we just hit the 7th, okay? Or we hit the 6th, and analytics tell me at 85 pitches, take him out. But he just went to 3rd, 4th, and 5th inning, striking out the side.
No, you keep him in there.
Yeah, I'm throwing
you have to.
Throwing it out the door. But some people now will sit there and go, okay, I need a left-handed pitcher that chews bubblegum, is from Uzbekistan, and can do a backflip while eating KFC.
It's a little bit hotter out or a little bit colder, so we need somebody from that area of the world that's used to it to pitch in this kind of stressful situation. No, idiot. Severino's going in the 7th inning.
He's humming.
105 pitches. There's 1 out.
Yeah.
No, don't take him out. There's nobody on.
Leave him.
You're up by 4. There's 1 guy on with 1 out in the 7th, and he's humming.
Yeah.
He just struck out the previous hitter.
Yeah.
So what? He walked the first guy. You let him pitch another guy.
Yep.
You struck him out.
Let him keep going.
And you're facing the 7 or 8 hitter.
Yeah.
Pitch the guy. Save your bullpen.
Yeah, really, because you see that keep happening in Major League Baseball now, where teams limp through the playoffs with a lack of bullpen.
Yes.
Because now you go in.
Who are the teams that win? The starting pitching.
Yep.
That goes deep into the game.
Look at the Red Sox. Look at
Yes.
Price, Sale, that other idiot. What's his name?
Evaldi.
Yeah, you
He
have
used to
those
be a
guys.
Yankee, too.
6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, whatever it is. So
I don't understand the game sometimes. And it started.
yeah,
Didn't it really start with? I could be wrong, but didn't it start with Billy Beane and the Oakland Athletics?
Yeah,
How many World Series did they win?
none. And they also traded away Giambi.
Giambi,
And
Chavez, Tejada, Barry Zito, Mark Mulder, Tim Hudson.
Keep going. Yep, they traded away them all.
Come on.
They traded away them all for Chris Pratt. Like
Yeah, Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt
Can't even keep his head calm.
No, but yeah, that was
fighting Thanos.
Yeah, right. That was it was started with him, that nickel and diamond people, which I get it. You're trying to save money and maximize profit, but that's not how you do it.
Nickel and diamond, but get a few studs.
Look what the Red Sox just did last year.
Yeah.
They had big budgets for starting pitching. They had Sale. They had Price.
Yeah.
Evaldi, whatever it is, and then they had Mookie Betts, who is just this fantastic athlete. So it's just like, all right, you struck.
Yeah, Betts is great.
Then they signed J.D. Martinez.
What a turnaround that guy had.
Oh God, he just hated Detroit. That's my guess. My guess is he didn't like Detroit.
Yeah, JD was on Detroit.
Yeah, I think he was Detroit. It's either Detroit or the White Sox. It's one of those. But
Yeah,
I think he just hated it. He's just like, and plus you're putting a right-handed power bat at Fenway Park for half of your games.
Yeah, he was Houston, Detroit, and Arizona before now becoming this stud on the Sox.
If I was a right-handed batter who was a free agent and the Red Sox approached me, I might take less money to play there.
Yeah, you got to get the ball up.
Yeah.
Once you do.
But at least, even if you don't, you're still smacking doubles.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be a 300 hitter just hitting that wall.
The fielder can only go back so far because the wall is right there.
Yeah, and you can't jump. Like, it's not like a regular fence that you can climb the fence to go get that.
Yeah.
You just stand there.
For those people not familiar with Boston, the Boston Red Sox, great city, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
Fenway Park has this enormous wall in left field called the Green Monster.
The Green Monster.
It is a sight to see. Have you ever seen a game up there?
No, I wanted to.
I haven't either. I was going to go to Jeter's last game.
Yeah.
The Green Monster is 37.2 feet high.
Yeah.
So that's almost 4 basketball hoops.
Yeah. Straight up.
It is a stadium that's rich with baseball history.
That and Wrigley Field, I think, might be the two oldest still left in baseball.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But,
I mean, listen, you talk about a great city. I was up there DJing an event, was it 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
It was either 2 or 3 for a company for somebody I was with at the time. Yeah. Great city, though, man.
It is. I went there for the Boston College football camp in high school because they had all those colleges there, and it was just a fun place.
Yeah, we didn't get to spend much time like walking around. It was also pretty shitty weather up there. It was rainy and everything, cold. But you could tell, man, it looks different. We drove around a little bit. We drove by Fenway Park.
Yeah.
And just looks great. It's different than any other city out there. It's got a different feel to it and everything.
Absolutely.
Like that. So, how is it being a dad?
It sucks. No, I'm sorry. No, it's fun. It's fun. I love my kids. They're waiting for me to go pick up some pizzas.
Yeah. Pizza day. Sunday fun day.
It's Sunday fun day. Pizza and movies.
What are you guys watching? Do they know? Have they made any choices yet? How old are they?
My son Noah is 5.
Okay.
My daughter Lucy is 2. And my youngest Roman is November, 15, 16 months, I think.
Jesus.
Something like that. Yeah, but they're thick as thieves. Those 3, they plot against me and their mother like we're the devil.
Watch out.
Yeah, but it's fun, though. It's, you know what, it's fun watching because you're watching somebody just grow up. You're watching a person, like, become a person.
Yeah.
And you're see them
forming this.
Yeah, and
this
you watch
life.
them. They pick up mannerisms that you have. They pick up the words you use, the attitudes you portray, the facial expressions. And like with Lucy and even Noah and Roman, you watch them, and I see them as these little potato sacks that we took them home from the hospital. But now, like, Lucy's cursing at me, and Roman's trying to talk, and Noah's back talking. It's just like,
right.
I remember years ago when you were so excited that I would even just acknowledge you, and now you just hate me. Like, great.
Yeah, now like, fuck you, Dad.
Yeah, like, here you go. Like, that's it.
What is it? What is the funniest thing you've seen?
With my kids?
Yeah.
It has to be, and Lucy's going to kill me for this, but I don't care. Lucy had one day, I was downstairs in my house, and my wife Laura was upstairs, and Laura screams, and I come running upstairs like a bat out of hell because you hear a scream like that, some kid's on the ground.
Somebody did something.
Yeah, somebody's
finger missing.
So there's Lucy standing behind the gate because we keep the doors open. She's standing behind the gate, and there's just brown.
Oh, no,
everywhere.
No.
It's not even just like...
Are we going with what we think we're talking about?
And she wound up, I guess...
doing the thing.
She wound up just taking a dump everywhere. It's all over her. It's all over the floor. It's caked into the floorboards. Oh, wow. It's everywhere. There's a picture my wife has.
This is the most graphic that we've gotten on the GSE podcast.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's one of those moments like when that happened after we cleaned her up and everything, I kind of just sat there and I was like, this is parenthood. Here you go. Like, here you go. Like, it can't get worse.
Everything could be moving smooth, and then
that one shot in the mouth. That's it.
Well, you know what? In August, I got a puppy.
Yeah.
And they say puppies and babies, human babies, are very similar.
Yep.
The needs and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And everything's going good. And all of a sudden, there's a mess.
Yep.
It's like, dude,
yep,
you're doing so good. You know.
That's it.
You know things now.
Yep.
This dog knew. So, I tell you what, man. They say some really misinformed people say that animals, they may not have an intelligence to a degree, or they necessarily can't learn any things, but they pick up patterns, which in a way is learning.
Yeah.
No, this dog, I think dogs learn.
They do. Oh no, they do.
Like
they have us all fooled.
Like language. Like, hey, want to go to the car? They go to the fucking door, and it's not just because they put the word car.
Yeah.
And we're going here, and it's, well, that's learning for everything, right?
Yeah.
This dog, it was a yellow lab. It's still alive. I don't want to say it was.
Yeah.
He's still alive. Yellow lab. He's 10 weeks.
Yeah.
You're not even 3 months on this planet.
Yeah.
3 months. Mm-hmm. You just came.
Yeah.
You just came here three.
Yeah. You're like, hi. You just materialized.
Hi, I'm here.
Yeah.
3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, man. We house trained him.
Yeah.
We meaning me.
Yeah.
First day was a nightmare. The next day was third day. By the end of the third day, he knew.
Yeah.
I got to go outside.
Mm-hmm.
3 days.
Because
the first day we didn't really train much. It was like play, have some fun, pat him on the head, clean up the mess. It's okay, like tomorrow we're going to train you.
Yeah.
2 days we're going to. By the end of that third day, he knew he would walk over to the front door, sit there, bark for a second or pull out the door.
Yeah.
Put the leash on, out. I could walk him around the whole complex. By the third day of walking around the complex, he would sit down when he was done, look at me, bite his leash, but kind of like tug it.
Yeah.
And walk all the way back to the door.
Wow.
Like sit in front of the door.
Yeah.
One day I let him kind of like grab the leash and I was like, where's he going?
Yeah.
Because when he would grab it first, I would like pull it out. Be like, no.
Yeah.
One day I was like, he's telling me something.
Yeah.
Obviously.
He's saying something to you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and it just so happened that like the times where he would pull a leash, it was still super hot out. Mm-hmm. So I was like, it's September and all of this weather, it's changing over, but it's not cool yet.
Yeah.
So one day I was like, all right, well let's see what this attitude is, this habit is.
Yeah.
And it's him walking from like 3 football fields away.
Wow.
All the way back to the front door.
Jeez.
And then we brought him over to my parents' house because I started being in wedding season. He couldn't leave the apartment because he didn't have his shots, and he really couldn't come here because I eventually wanted him to come here with me and just come around everywhere. He couldn't do that yet because the shots, and he couldn't have the shots till the end of September. But I had like 3 weddings a weekend, and it just became, unfortunately, the wrong timing.
Yeah.
But he picked up the same habit at my parents' house.
Okay.
This is a being that has been alive for 3 months.
Yeah.
3.5 months, and it knows both doors. It knows when to go out, what to do. These things learn, man.
They do. They do.
So, what's the movie? What are you guys watching?
I don't know. She's calling me now, so
we're running low on some time.
Yeah, we're running low on some time.
About 5 minutes.
Probably do some Disney. Probably. Okay. They love Moana. So we'll probably just put on that for the 6 millionth time as I just shoot myself.
So you know the song.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I hate it. But yeah, we'll probably do some that. Maybe some Aladdin.
Okay.
Some, I don't know.
Live action's coming out soon.
I see that, yeah.
Will Smith
is a genie.
The genie. What do you think about that? Should they have just dubbed over Robin Williams' voice as the genie? Or?
I don't think you could do that because he's gone.
The lingo is going to be different too.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they adopted the genie into Will Smith. But I think if there's somebody that could do that, it could be Will Smith. I also thought that maybe Ryan Reynolds would be good for that as a genie.
Wow.
Think about that, because the genie and Deadpool, with lack of cursing, kind of have the same mannerisms. Like, kind of have that same conversational type speech to each other.
Ryan Reynolds as a genie.
Think about it, yeah.
Wow.
But don't put him and morph him into a genie. Just make a genie. Like, make the genie and then just CGI him, but have Ryan Reynolds speak.
Like he's doing with that Pokemon movie.
Exactly, with
Pikachu
Detective
one.
Pikachu, yeah.
That's interesting, too. I always view those Pokemon as just wild creature, pet-like things that fight, and now you're giving it a whole personality.
Yeah.
And a language.
Yeah, you're giving it like a language to speak. Like, give me a break.
And I always thought of like Pikachu as almost like a little baby. Thing, and now you're giving him a grown man voice.
Yeah, really.
It's interesting. What are you watching these days? Anything good on TV that you want to...
The Office.
For anybody?
The Office. Oh, Letterkenny. It's on Hulu. It's a Canadian show. It's just 3 farmers that are idiots having a good time. It's on Hulu. Check it out, Letterkenny. Besides that, it's Doc McStuffins, which is the greatest porn name never used. Doc McStuffins, all the kids stuff, Paw Patrol, PJ Masks, a lot of Gordon
You're wrapped
Ramsay.
into it.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't watched the actual news in a while, but I can I can talk about Paw Patrol for 6 hours. There you go.
Well, you're not missing anything on the actual news.
I didn't think so.
A lot of chaos.
A lot of craziness.
I was listening to somebody on Sirius XM last night on the way home from the wedding, and they said it was a DJ. I think it was on BPM, and he was saying how he was overseas and he just felt so good not to hear our news.
Yeah. Because
it wasn't just people being angry and depressed. And like, America, what are we doing?
I don't know.
What is this?
That's a topic.
Do you realize how nice we have it here?
Really?
You don't like the president? Fine, vote him out.
Yeah.
Vote him out.
He's not a dictator.
Next election, vote him out.
Yeah.
And if it ever got dictatorial or whatever, you can
just figure something out.
You can revolt.
Yeah.
I think things are not nearly as bad as
there's a lot of drama queens and kings here.
You see all this stuff. I mean, you look outside. You have the opportunity to start your own business.
Mm-hmm.
You can be your own social media personality.
Yeah.
The censorship is not really there.
Mm-hmm. No.
And racism, is it as bad as people say?
It's probably not.
You go out and you talk to people of all skin colors and
creeds and
backgrounds, and I don't see it.
I don't see it either
in person.
Yeah.
You know, there's always a few bad apples in the bunch, and it's unfortunate, but I think you got it pretty good here in America.
You do. It's not bad.
You can have discussion. You know, you can share ideas and listen.
Yeah.
You could work with people that you don't see eye to eye with on everything.
No. Yeah, you're right.
Good luck doing that in other parts of the world.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Go to other parts of the world and the rights and all that taken away. 100%.
1,000%. Like, you're done.
So we got it good here, man. How do you feel about raising your kids going forward? Is it feel good about it?
I'm going to raise them the way that I want to. I'm going to raise them with the values me and my wife agreed upon and the ones that we live. And if you don't like it, then suck it. Like, these are my kids. They're not yours. They're mine. And I'm going to make sure that my kids are raised the way that I wanted them always to be raised. Like, I'm not going to conform my ideologies and what I feel and my wife feels is best for us. I'm not going to conform that to just make other people happy. These are my kids. Like, you want to raise kids? Have kids. Go have sex. Figure it out. Have kids.
Yeah.
Godspeed. If you don't want to have sex, get a turkey baster. Figure it out. But with me and my wife, we have our values that we want to instill in our children, and that's what we're doing day in and day out. So,
well, I think that's a very important thing for people to understand. We used to respect that back in the day.
Yep.
Even when we were growing up, we could see it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess real quick, do something fun before we end. We got a little bit not political, but socially right there, if you will.
Yeah.
What's your? This is a fun thing that I was thinking about doing today, moving forward.
All right.
Conspiracy theory. Do you
fucking
have
love these.
one?
Oh, I fucking love these.
What do you have? What
like
are you
my
running with? Like
things that I've watched. I've watched a lot. I'm a documentary.
What
psycho.
do you believe in that is seems far fetched to the common quote person? Whether it's aliens, the global warming, the global elitists.
Oh no, Hitler fled to Argentina.
Yeah,
1,000%. Yeah, to fucking put it in a book.
Why do you think that? What's the evidence that you've?
I've watched a lot of documentaries on it. Go to Netflix. It's all that stuff. A lot of documentaries, a lot of things about it. They actually did a show of hunting Hitler. It's on Hulu. Watch that. That's a good show. And there's just too much evidence to say he didn't do it. There's too much evidence to put him in that spot in this time. And if you go through the forensic evidence of the people that's like in Russia, they had the remains of Hitler, whatever.
Did they find out that wasn't?
It wasn't.
It was.
It was a woman.
Yeah.
Yep. So that one thing, the other thing, I am convinced that he got out. He got out and he went to Argentina, lived out his days there, didn't harm anybody else. I don't know. But there's old Nazi factions that are still in Argentina.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
somewhere in Central or South America, there's like a old-time German feel.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. So I think that if he
that was on a Joe Rogan podcast.
Yep.
He had a guest on, and that's where I first got my attention to it.
It's Joe Rogan. You listening to this? I'm with you. Whatever, whatever it is. But yeah, I really truly believe that the other stuff you can kind of debunk, like here or there. But that's one thing that. There's no definitive proof that he died in that bunker that day.
Right.
Like, there's nothing that proves, like, that happened. But I love conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I would say my biggest conspiracy theories. I definitely think that there's life out there.
Yeah.
And I sort of have this idea now. And it's just an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of piecing together different theories, if you will.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theories.
Okay.
I think religion is real.
Yeah.
I think it could be a little bit misconstrued.
Probably.
Over the years that we get these different stories that across different religions may sound similar.
I think there's too many hands in the pot.
Yeah, I think they have been here before, meaning aliens.
Yeah.
I think that we got that term aliens and we kind of crossed it over into religion, meaning people want to talk about the Big Bang and things like that. Which came first, the Big Bang or religion?
Yeah.
Here's my little idea.
Right.
What if, right? What if the quote-unquote alien life form to this earth, alien life form to this earth, God, it's out in space, caused the Big Bang.
Caused the Big Bang, okay.
And the reason why we're having such a hard time with space travel
Yeah.
in person
Mm-hmm.
is because the heavens are out there.
Okay.
We can't really see into these planets that great.
Yeah.
We can do like infrared or whatever kind of
Yeah.
views, but
Okay.
we can't get to these planets, and we find these Goldilocks planets way out there.
Yeah.
We're never going to travel to them.
No.
What happens if the little orbs that we'll see sometimes, the light things and all that,
Mm-hmm.
what happens if that is what came down first? Maybe they took human form
Yeah.
and they built things like the pyramids
Mm-hmm.
and Stonehenge
Yeah.
and all these other things that we can't explain,
Okay.
and they left.
Okay.
But they also had a doing or a part in making the universe as we know it.
So it's all one and the same.
Yes.
Like the aliens and religion are all intertwined because
Yes.
God is an alien that, like you said, it's not a bad
Well,
idea. Like
yeah.
there's some plausibility.
Well,
to
God
that.
is definitely an alien to Earth. He's
Yeah.
an alien life form, not of this Earth.
Yeah. No, you're right. That's true.
When we think of God, I feel like there's an overviewing or there's a feel that somebody is looking into us like a crystal ball.
Yeah.
And like it's like a kid playing with a miniature town.
Yeah.
I think that
That's
it's
this.
out there.
Yeah.
The universe is still expanding, they said.
Yep.
Still making the universe.
Yep.
You know?
It's not. It's a topic for another discussion. I'd love to come back and talk about that at some point.
Absolutely. That's my little conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
I think that, I think that there's a lot of things that we don't know about,
Yeah.
and it's not just on the surface.
Yeah.
And I would love to have you back on.
Oh,
We
absolutely.
could dive a little bit into these theories.
Absolutely, I will.
And for anybody listening, we could be so wrong.
Oh, 1,000%.
We're not saying we're right.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
So
No.
anybody that got mad by this, listen, I'm a Christian. I believe in God, Jesus.
Yep.
Just trying to make a little bit of sense of it.
Yeah. Just that's it. You have any comments or concerns? DM him or
DM.
send something out.
Let's not do anything hateful just because our views don't line
That's
up.
true. You got to set up a Twitter or something. Let him tweet
Gotta
at
do
you.
it. Just ideas.
Yeah.
Little theories.
That's it.
Little hypotheticals. What if, you know?
That's what keeps the world spinning.
As
Or
they
what
say,
ifs.
the Bible's not to be taken literal.
That's it. Yeah. So it's all. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns? Reach out to this guy. We'll figure it out.
So we're wrapping this up
Yep.
very soon.
Yep.
Got a question for you.
Hit me.
How do the Jets do this year? You're a Jets guy still,
I
right?
die hard till I
Okay.
die.
How do we wrap up this podcast
Yeah.
with your topic? Your
My
favorite topic
of the Jets. You know what I think the Jets need to do is go out in free agency, get some offensive linemen. Are we going to win 4 games? No. We're going to win more than 4 games. I think that with the way our schedule is structured, there's some gauntlet parts in that with the teams we play. But I, as a Jet fan, I'm optimistic. We have a quarterback finally we can build around. We're not waiting for one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go on a limb. I'll say we'll wind up going about 11-5.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll go 11-5.
Wow.
We'll go 11-5, and we'll take the wild card because I have to say that.
Why do you think 11-5? See, I'm not akin to what the Jets are doing.
Yeah.
How's their running back and wide receiver situation going?
Well,
'Cause as a football fan, I think those two things immediately for offense after quarterback.
true. The Robbie Anderson and Quincy Enunwa are 2 big wideouts. Enunwa's re-signed. Robbie Anderson's a restricted free agent, so we can still keep him another year at least.
What does that mean, restricted free agent?
It means that when you hit free agency, which happens, I think, in 3 days on the 13th, your team that you're currently on, which would be the Jets, will tender you with a certain draft pick. So Robbie Anderson has a second-round tender, which means that he can go pursue whatever. If somebody offers him a contract, the Jets either match it or give him up, and they get a second.
So if the Jets match the contract, does he have to stay with the Jets?
No, they could say we match your offer. If they match the offer, you'll hear it from.
But the other team has to agree to take him on at the price of the draft pick.
No, has to agree to terms with him on a contract.
Okay.
So
and if he does that, how do the Jets get a second-round draft pick? Is it from the team that he's signing?
If the Jets don't match the offer sheet, which you'll hear it coming out that somebody signed an offer sheet, somebody declined an offer sheet.
Right.
Now they've lost him. but it's just getting compensation back from losing a player like that. The Jets have a good tight end in Chris Herndon.
Okay.
And if you watch the tape last year, the Jets did lose a lot and got kind of beat up.
They weren't the worst team, though.
It's just looking at Sam Darnold, the maturity through the year. It shows if the game they played in Foxborough against the Patriots, you can see his maturity. He was making some great throws, some great reads. He had control of it. And I'm actually happy to bring this whole thing full circle to our first topic. I'm happy that Antonio Brown didn't come to the Jets because as a young quarterback, you don't need that diva wide receiver. You need receivers with chemistry that you know at 10 yards you'll be here and he can trust that you'll be there. You don't need somebody in your ear screaming that they want the ball. Because every receiver, we have a mutual, kid we went to high school with, Tyler. Tyler Bay was somebody that I could close my eyes and throw routes to, and I knew where he was because we had that chemistry.
Yeah, you build that over time, yeah.
Yeah, so that in the middle of a game when things were breaking down, I knew where he was, and I would just throw it to a spot knowing he would be there. With Antonio Brown, he'd be barking for him to get the football. Now you have a young quarterback trying to please a good receiver on top of helping everything out. Creates animosity. It does. So,
you think Gruden's going to put up with it?
No, not at all. No, 0% of that. Gruden's that no nonsense. Khalil Mack was whatever, putzing around there. And trading away Khalil Mack's not the best idea, but he didn't put up with that. He's not going to put up with Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown knows.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I think people that well, to get to the Jets, what you said real quick, look at a team like the Patriots. Yeah. They have a few stars.
Yeah.
Borderline stars. I mean, Gronk is a star.
Yeah.
Personality.
Well, if he comes back.
Yeah, if he comes back. He hasn't made a decision yet, right?
No, he's not.
So he's a star personality.
Yeah.
He's a very good player.
Yeah.
I think he's on the downward track now.
Yeah. Injuries are catching up with
him. Dude, you won the Super Bowl. I mean,
he's won 3, I think.
Yeah.
Or 2.
But you just won it.
Yeah.
You should probably leave.
It's at this point.
And you're young, and I think he wants to go to Cali.
Well, unless you're a football nut like me, and the University of Arizona, he sat out a year for, if I'm not mistaken, a back injury.
Okay.
When he played tight end at the University of Arizona. And now you can see it's starting to rear its ugly head again with back injuries, elbows, all this stuff. So
yeah, man, it's a brutal sport, man.
Yeah,
But to go to your point real quick, I think the Jets need guys like the Patriots have, where your roster fill-ins, your guys that are getting to work, like Julian Edelman.
Your team players.
Yeah, listen, you get the job done.
Julian Edelman was a quarterback coming out of Kent State, by the way. He was a quarterback that was too small, and they put him on the Patriots and said, "Can you catch?" And now look at him. It's a Super Bowl MVP.
Can you catch? You're going to have a chance to win a Super Bowl every single year.
There you go. James White, Sony Michel. Sony Michel sat behind Todd Gurley, Nick Chubb, those guys at Georgia. And now Sony Michel, look at what he's doing as a running back there. There you go. It's just a lot of no-name people create a name.
Yeah, and I'm not saying Darnold is going to be Brady.
No.
But if you get a good quarterback, you get a decent run game, decent wideouts, and you have the good quarterback, you get a defense that can play.
That's it.
Obviously, you're talking about doing a lot.
Yeah.
But you have the guy there for a while now.
You have the pieces. You have the Leonard Williams, Jamal Adams, Marcus Mays on defense. You have Darnold, and the goal is to make Darnold into the Brees and the Bradys of the world, which it's you could
tall order.
You can give them the best receivers, but it's up to the quarterback to make the plays, and that's how it works. Your quarterback should raise the game of everybody around you. The players shouldn't have to raise the quarterback. The quarterback's the pinnacle. You get everybody up to the top of the mountain. They shouldn't be dragging you up. No.
Who's winning the divisions this year? And we'll end it with this. Your AC, the OC, official predictions.
For the Super Bowl?
Pre-draft, of course. Okay. We can come back after the draft.
We're going to revisit this.
We'll do 2 predictions. We'll see how they change.
Yeah.
Your official pre-draft 2019-2020
Super Bowl
playoff. Who makes it from the division so far? So obviously we'll do the NFC first.
Okay, so then the NFC East, I'm gonna take. it's not gonna excite anybody except I think Kevin Garcia. I'm gonna take the Cowboys in the East. In the West, you know what? In the West, I'll probably take Seattle to sneak back in. In the North, I'm going to take the Packers. The Packers, I think Aaron Rodgers figures it out with the new offensive coordinator and stuff.
You don't think the Bears do it?
You know what? I think the Bears did very good this year, but I think Aaron Rodgers had a lot of problems. If Aaron Rodgers is at 100%, you can't bet against them.
No running game.
Well, Jamal,
it's incredible.
There's that new kid, Adams, their new running back, number 33, Aaron Jones, whatever it is. He's good. They have
you know what?
They have an upswing.
Jones is not terrible.
No, in the South, which is always a mix-up. In the South, I'm going to take the Saints. I'm going to take the Saints to win the South.
I think you have to.
Yeah,
they
you got to.
Fucking crushed it last year.
They did, and
they got robbed.
Yeah, they got robbed on that play.
Robbed.
Out of the NFC.
That's like I walked into a store, looked at the guy, said, "I'm taking this,"
and leaving
right before they're closing, and they're making a profit for the day, and I just like ruin all of it.
I think.
So we got the Cowboys,
Seahawks, Saints,
Packers, wild card.
Rams. I think the Rams take a step back because Todd Gurley's got arthritis now. So
Is that proven?
That's proven.
Okay, because I haven't followed up.
Yeah.
With
so.
Yeah.
They'll do that, and then I think the Eagles sneak in. So those are your 6 teams. From coming out of that to the Super Bowl, I'm gonna ride the Saints. The Saints go on this redemption tour. The Saints win the NFC. In the AFC, it'll be the Patriots win the East. The Colts win the South. The Chiefs win the West.
So far the same.
Yeah, and then for the AFC North, everybody's gonna think I'm nuts. I think the Browns make the playoffs. I think the Browns win the division. I think the Browns win the division, and then the 2 wild card teams are the Jets and the Ravens. And coming out of the AFC,
Steelers are done.
Yeah, they're done. I don't see them.
Well, you're losing 2 big guys. I know they got Juju.
Yeah, but still, it's.
Well, they had Connors, right?
James Conner, yeah, but he's not Le'Veon Bell, and it showed.
No,
when they needed to run the ball.
Yeah.
He's not Bell, but coming out of the AFC, you know what? It's a toss up between the Chiefs. It's either the Chiefs, it's the Patriots, or like a dark horse team like the Colts. Like I don't want to count them out, but I think that Patrick Mahomes, a year older, a year wiser. I think it'll be Chiefs, Saints next Super Bowl, and then I think Drew Brees and the Saints.
Who was it this year?
It was
the Patriots and
Rams.
Okay.
I think it's Chiefs, Saints next year, and then I think Brees retires on top and wins the Super Bowl. I think the Saints will win the Super Bowl and retire on top.
So this is your early prediction.
There's my
Saints,
March
Chiefs, and Brees retires.
Yeah, my March 10th prediction. In 6 months I'll come back and we'll do another one.
Dude, March 9th was crazy.
Yeah.
Did you see all the things that happened yesterday? Obviously Antonio Brown.
Yep.
We had a historical moment. Biggie Smalls.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yep.
He passed away yesterday.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah. Years ago yesterday.
Great artist, man. Great.
He was huge.
Great hip hop artist. One of the best.
Yeah.
And sports related, Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah, engaged to J-Lo. There you go.
Jennifer Lopez.
Yep.
Big day, but today was the biggest because we had AC the OC on the GSE podcast, and it was fun, man. We finally did it.
It was great.
And it's great to fucking catch up with you, man. It's been
I love
quite
it.
a bit.
Oh no, it's been a while. It's been too long. We got to do this again
after the draft.
Yeah, we'll do like a monthly football roundup.
Yeah, we can do monthly football conspiracy stuff. We'll dive more into that next time.
Yeah, we'll do a GSE sports podcast, monthly sports podcast. But you gotta get a Twitter. You gotta do something. You gotta make a Facebook page.
I'm on Twitter. I just don't use it that much.
We gotta get.
I'm a WWE fan.
Yeah.
Do you watch it all?
I stopped because everything became too theatrical.
Yeah,
it's not like the old days.
Yeah, I watched an old thing real quick where Austin and The Rock did this lumberjack match, and it was like Triple H, Undertaker, Chyna came out, and then all of a sudden everybody in the ring came out.
Yeah, there's like 40 guys.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden Shane had people out to fight The Rock and Austin with the other people that were beating him up, and then all of a sudden Vince McMahon sent people out.
Yep.
And you just don't see that anymore.
You don't. Everything's too theatrical.
It's a little bit different.
Like Elias singing and stuff. Like, give me a break. Just get a folding
it's
chair.
Become more cutting promos.
Exactly.
Rather than
like they cut promos when we watched
fights.
it. Yeah, they cut promos when we watched it, but it was.
You cut like 1 or 2 promos.
That was it.
Like Sting wouldn't talk for a year promo.
Yeah.
or the Austin in the ring. You know?
Yeah. But
yeah, are you going to Mania?
no,
It's
I
at
want to.
MetLife.
I want
Yeah.
to, but I'll probably wind up watching it on TV with the kids.
It's next month, April 7th. If you decide to go, I'm gonna go.
Do it.
And for right now, we're gonna go.
We're gonna go.
We're gonna leave this circle of chaos.
Yeah, the Thunderdome. We've defeated the Thunderdome today.
Anthony, it's been a pleasure, man.
Kyle,
I
thank
appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely, man.
And for everybody else out there, thank you for listening.
Yep.
And until next time, see ya.
Godspeed.
Bye, guys.